Analyzing the impact of Donald Trump's hypothetical victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential election would involve a detailed exploration of its consequences for domestic politics, American society, global relations, and its implications for the Christian community, which Trump has often courted as part of his political base. Here is a comprehensive analysis of the potential impact of such a victory. Domestic impact of Trump's 2024 victory. Continued polarization and partisan division. Heightened political divisions. Trump's previous tenure was characterized by significant polarization, and returning to the White House would likely amplify this dynamic. His confrontational rhetoric and America First policies might further deepen existing divides between Democrats and Republicans, as well as between urban and rural populations. Erosion of norms. Critics and analysts would likely focus on whether a second Trump term continues trends seen in his first term, such as challenges to institutional norms, confrontations with the media, and tension between the executive and judicial branches. Realignment within the Republican Party. Trump's victory would further solidify his hold over the GOP, potentially sidelining more traditional establishment Republicans. This would confirm a shift toward a more populist, nationalist brand of conservatism. Policy implications. Immigration policy. Trump has consistently emphasized strict immigration controls. A second term would likely include renewed efforts to build and enforce barriers along the southern border, possibly revive travel bans, and pursue hardline policies that resonate with his base. Economic policies. Trump's economic focus may continue to center on protectionist trade policies, renegotiating trade deals perceived as unfavorable to American interests, and advocating for tax policies similar to those enacted in his first term. Judiciary appointments with a second term. Trump would likely have further opportunities to shape the federal judiciary, continuing to appoint judges that align with conservative values, thereby leaving a lasting imprint on the legal landscape of the U.S. Impact on democracy and institutions. Election integrity debates. Given Trump's rhetoric around alleged election fraud following the 2020 election, a 2024 victory would be scrutinized for its impact on perceptions of democracy. Questions may arise around voter suppression, election reform laws, and challenges to democratic norms. Civil liberties. There would be intensified debates over issues such as freedom of the press, speech regulations on social media, and government oversight, with Trump being both a critic and beneficiary of these issues during his time in office. Social and cultural implications. Racial and ethnic tensions. Civil rights advocacy. Trump's victory could galvanize civil rights movements and groups that perceive his policies as hostile to their interests, leading to increased activism and protest movements, as seen during his first term. Identity politics. Issues related to race, gender, and sexual orientation may continue to be a focal point of cultural debate, with Trump's presidency being both a catalyst for cultural backlash and conservative support. The Christian community and evangelical support. Religious freedom legislation. Trump's victory would likely involve continued outreach to Christian conservative groups, emphasizing issues like religious freedom, opposition to abortion, and the protection of religious symbols and rights. His support among evangelical Christians has historically been strong due to his appointments of conservative judges and defense of traditional values. Moral and ethical debates. Trump's behavior and rhetoric continue to pose challenges for Christian leaders and communities who support his policies but may grapple with the perceived conflict between their faith values and Trump's conduct. Global impact of Trump's victory. International relations and foreign policy. America First doctrine. Trump's approach to international affairs has been marked by skepticism of multilateral agreements and a preference for bilateral deals. His victory would likely see a renewed emphasis on this doctrine, with consequences for alliances such as NATO and trade agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. U.S.-China relations. Expect a renewed focus on China's economic practices, technology policies, and influence. Trump may escalate tariffs and pursue more aggressive trade policies that could impact global supply chains. Middle East policy. Trump's past policies, such as moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, signal that he could continue to shape U.S. policy in the region in a way that aligns with his previous positions, which have been both lauded and criticized. Climate policy. Trump's skepticism toward climate change and his withdrawal from international climate agreements like the Paris Accord would likely continue to influence global environmental policies, potentially slowing international efforts to combat climate change. Rise of global populism. Influence on populist leaders. Trump's victory would reaffirm the political strength of populist movements worldwide. Leaders like Jair Bolsonaro, Viktor Orban, and others who align themselves with similar nationalist and populist policies may be emboldened. Impact on global trade. Protectionist policies could strain global markets and lead to further economic nationalism in other countries, as well as potential retaliatory measures against U.S. policies. Implications for the Christian world. Alignment with Christian conservative values. Support for traditional values. Trump's judicial appointments and opposition to issues such as abortion and gender-neutral policies resonate with many Christian conservatives. A second term would likely reinforce his commitment to these issues. Religious freedom globally. Trump's administration has previously emphasized international religious freedom, working to protect persecuted Christians and religious minorities worldwide. This focus may continue, impacting U.S. foreign policy. Ethical and moral challenges for Christian communities. Navigating the paradox. Trump's rhetoric and conduct often create challenges for Christian leaders and believers who support his policies but may find his personal actions and statements to be at odds with Christian teachings. Engagement in political activism. Christian groups may continue to play a prominent role in American politics, using their influence to lobby for legislation aligned with their beliefs. Long-term implications. Impact on future generations. Norm shifts in political discourse. The style of politics championed by Trump, populist, confrontational, and media-savvy, has already reshaped American political discourse. It may continue to influence the tone and strategies of future candidates. Shifts in media and communication. Trump's reliance on direct social media communication and distrust of traditional media outlets may further alter how leaders communicate with their constituents and how media institutions are perceived by the public. Constitutional and legal precedents. Executive power. Legal battles and executive actions taken during Trump's second term could establish or challenge legal precedents that have long-term effects on the balance of power between branches of government. Supreme Court influence. If additional justices are appointed, the ideological lean of the Supreme Court could impact major legal decisions for decades, including issues such as reproductive rights, voting laws, and executive power. Conclusion. Donald Trump's hypothetical 2024 victory would signify not just a political triumph but a reaffirmation of the deep divides and transformative forces at play within the United States and the global political landscape. The impact of his presidency would be felt across the cultural, social, and international spectrums, challenging political norms, altering U.S. foreign policy, and influencing the ongoing global populist wave. For American Christians and the broader world, Trump's return would bring both opportunities and challenges, encapsulating the complexities of faith, politics, and national identity in the modern era. The true legacy of his 2024 victory would depend on the policies implemented, the alliances forged or strained, and how his leadership either bridges or exacerbates the many divides facing the nation and world.